Welcome to this first episode of Getting Unstuck. I want to start this episode and channel by talking about the power that is the law of attraction and how we are enmeshed within it. You may be asking, why should I bother learning about it, and what does it have to do with me and my daily life anyway? Well, it can change the way you live your life, making it more fun, more conscious, and more on purpose. You get to experience yourself in the driver's seat of your life. I do want to preface this episode to say that if it feels heavy and overwhelming, don't worry, because it will become clearer in further episodes when I go into more details about the specifics. My intention here is to outline the way that the law of attraction works and to help you to understand the impact that it has in your life. The law of attraction and the law of assumption are all about energy. Everything is energy. We are energy. We are constantly in this web of connection, and we are constantly connecting to one level of energy or another. Because we normally are unaware of this energy matrix, we have come to believe that we have no control over anything going on in our life, that we are in a state of happenings. Life is happening to us, and we just have to deal with it and make the most of it. This idea that when life hands you lemons, make lemonade springs to mind. But what if you get to choose whether it's lemons, oranges, or apples in the first place? For the most part, we have come to believe that we are at the mercy of life. We are at the mercy of other people's authority and life circumstances, and that we need to fight for our little space in the world in order to have a somewhat decent life experience. And the irony is that if this is what you believe, then this is what you will experience. But if you were to start to question this way of living, and if you have this little niggle inside of you that is asking for more and hoping that there must be a better way to live, then you are in the right place. The way that I've come to understand life, the meaning of our being here, and what we are supposed to do with it all is what I will share in this channel. So let's dive into it. Everything is energy. Everything. Sometimes the energy has a higher vibrations, and other times it has a lower vibration. We know about what level of energy we are vibrating at via our emotions. Our emotions are like feedback loops. They act like a guide to let us know that if we were to continue to vibrate at the level of energy that we are currently at, that we will be attracting a similar experience to come to us. And so they are making us aware to what we are potentially creating and whether it is something we want to experience or not. But where does this creative energy come from, you may ask? It's our thoughts that create our emotions. For example, if you are thinking about your cute little puppy at home and the way it sleeps, the little puff and grunt it makes, and the way it lies on its back with its belly in the air, you feel happy and all fuzzy with love for the little furball. On the other hand, when you think of that annoying driver that cut you off this morning on your way to work, or that annoying colleague that has this way of pawning off their job onto you and getting away with it, then these thoughts create a feeling of annoyance and even anger. We are constantly fluctuating on this emotional scale. It often seems like thoughts are automatic and that you don't have any control over them, that somehow they seem to have a life of their own, because before you know it, you're either fully in your frustration and rapidly climbing into anger, or you are a happy puddle of love. Your emotions are powerful. They are a big part of your creative power. The question to ask yourself is, what emotional state are you in most of the time? Is it happiness, joy, love, satisfaction, which are all higher vibrating emotions? Or is it sadness, fear, despondency, and frustration, which are lower vibrating emotions? There's a whole scale of emotions with love on the high end and fear on the low end, with everything in between. It's important for me to mention that no emotion is a bad emotion. All emotions are valid and important. They are feedback to what is going on for you. This is the way that we experience our thoughts and emotions. Your thoughts are the catalyst for your emotions. Whether you are thinking about the puppy or the annoying driver, it's those thoughts that are creating your emotional response. Side note, I'm speaking in general terms in this podcast. There are certainly some specific variations when it comes to memories and traumatic events, but that's not what I'm referring to here. So the tricky part comes in when you are not aware of your emotional guidance and only know that you are feeling frustrated in that moment when it's happening. And the same thing goes for when you are feeling happy. You are simply happy and enjoying whatever situation you are in that makes you feel this way. This is tricky because it leaves you unaware as to what triggered those emotions, and so you are constantly reacting to circumstances, whether it's positive or negative. The pivoting point comes in when you are able to control what you are thinking about, and thereby controlling your emotions. This may seem crazy because we have millions of thoughts every day, and you are right, that would be a very difficult task. But what you can control is your attention. So where you choose to put your focus. During your normal day, you may have situations when you have to be mindful of your attention. For example, if you have to get that email sent off to your client or boss, you are very specific with your attention. You put your distractions aside and you put all of your focus on the task at hand. You don't allow your mind to play tricks on you until you are finished. Unless, of course, you don't want to do the task and will allow and actually invite any and all distractions to delay having to do this thing that you really don't want to do. Yes, we have all been there. The point that I want to make here is that you do have control over where you put your focus, and this is where your power starts from. You see, if you choose to think about the puppy more often, you would feel a general sense of happiness throughout your day. Like when you're on holiday, your focus is on the beautiful scenery or the all-you-can-eat buffet. You are not thinking about the task list at work or the traffic in the morning when driving to work. This is how you are choosing better or worse feeling thoughts. And while most of your life you may be living on autopilot and not aware of your thoughts, this is something that you can train yourself to do. And that is when the magic begins of creating your life on purpose. Most of the time, you are creating your life by default. You have habitual thoughts and emotions, and they are creating the same kind of outcome. Sure, there may be some variations, but on the whole, the life you are living has been created by the habitual thoughts and emotions that you are vibrating at. Let's dive a little deeper. I will use an example to explain what I mean and make it make more sense. On a normal day, you probably wake up at the same time and have the same morning routine. You have a shower, brush your teeth, and get dressed for work. You may have a cup of coffee, and you may even have some breakfast before heading to work. At work, you get to your desk, switch on your computer, and while it's waking up, you head to the kettle for another cup of coffee. You have created a routine. You have created a predictable sequence of events. You're expecting to do this routine. If there is a variation in this routine, like waking up 20 minutes later, your whole day feels off. This is the power of your focus. This focused routine makes you feel good. It makes you feel like you get to start your day off right. This kind of routine makes our thinking lazy. We know what to expect and we trot along into the routine. And if you are happy in this routine, then you are unlikely to want to change anything. And that is great. But if you do want to have a different experience in your life, then you will need to do something different. And that is where the understanding of law of attraction becomes your magic power. The law of attraction works all of the time, every moment of every day. And it works like this. Whatever you are focusing on, and therefore expecting most of the time, and whatever is producing the most constant thought and state of emotion is what you are creating into your life experience. And that can look like something like this. It's Monday morning, and you really don't like Monday. In fact, it's probably true to say that you hate Mondays. Mondays are always tiring and annoying because you have to go to work, and Mondays also mean that you have to sit in on that really boring meeting to form the task list for the week. You know that the tasks are always too big to what you can realistically achieve, and so the disappointing look on your manager's face in that meeting is another reason to feel bad on Monday. And this has become your normal experience for a Monday. So as for this example, the Monday experience will always be a bad one, and even progressively become worse. It may even be the reason you're contemplating looking for a new job, but you actually like your job, if it just wasn't for that awful Monday. It has even crept into your Sunday, because you know that the next day is going to be the dreaded Monday, and so your Sunday is starting to become spoiled too. So not only do you have one day that you are dreading, it's now becoming two. As per the law of attraction, like attracts like. Does this sound familiar? And this kind of example is everywhere in our lives, in our relationships, our family, and in our dreams for ourselves. And because the law of attraction is always in effect, it feels like nothing ever changes, because when you try, it just doesn't seem to work. That is because you have to change the way that you look at things. You have to change your focus. And this is the seed of change that will affect everything else. Let's use our example and turn the focus around. Let's say you want to feel better about your Monday, because it's starting to overshadow your weekend and it's making you feel miserable. If you decided, and this would have to be an active decision, that you want to feel better about your job and the Monday experience, you want to change the way that you look at it all. One example would be to make it a practice that you are grateful that you have a job. You get to choose to go to that job or not. You get to choose to stay working there or to leave. You do have the power to choose a different job. You can look at the co-workers that you enjoy working with and all the fun things that you like to talk about to make the day more enjoyable. You can choose to notice all the good things about your job, the way that you know what is expected of you, like the meeting, the way that you can keep yourself accountable and get to set a challenge for yourself, the idea that you could probably talk to your manager when the load is too big and suggest a collaboration with another colleague, or the fact that the workload is too big to achieve in 1 week and you would need 2. Do you get the idea here? That if you started to look for things that would feel better about the Monday and the Monday meeting, the whole idea about your job would feel different. It would start to feel a little bit better, and dare I say, even a little more enjoyable. The dread on Sunday would ease a bit, and it wouldn't feel like such a burden is about to hit once Monday arrives. It would seem like you get your life back in a way. While this example might seem a little simplistic, its purpose is to demonstrate the power of your focus. Because if you decided that you like a little challenge and that you enjoy collaborating with a colleague, then the task list will seem achievable and even fun to you. And therein lies your power. Your focus creates thoughts, and your thoughts create emotions. Your continuous focus, thoughts, and emotions create your reality. Once you change the way that you look at the thing that you want to change, like the Monday dread, then the actual Monday experience will be different. The heaviness on Sunday and the actual dread on the Monday will be replaced with peace and contentment. The other part of this is that if you keep your focus on the dread of the Monday, then even more things that will support and perpetuate the dread will come into your life experience, especially if you're expecting it to come with absolute certainty. Changing your mind isn't always easy, but it is worth it. So what would your life look like if you did this on purpose? What if you chose what to focus on? What if you decided what you thought about something and thereby created your emotions on purpose? What would you create? Imagine if you could choose a life where you are happy more of the time, where you enjoy your life more often. You absolutely can create a life that you like, a life that you prefer, a life that feels good to you. It is possible.